So we've got 1 Kings 12 and 13. These chapters are pretty important because you have the splitting of Israel. Okay, you're going to have the house of Judah, the southern kingdom, and the 10 northern tribes of the northern kingdom, which would be known as Israel. The 10 northern tribes of Israel, right off the get-go, get involved in the sins of Jeroboam, which you'll read throughout the book of Kings or the Chronicles, the sins of Jeroboam. Okay, Paul warns us of these sins of Jeroboam in Romans 11. I quote it often. It's called unbelief. For this unbelief, you'll also be cast off. Then he warns of the goodness and the severity of God. Okay? These super important chapters in this 13. 13 is a serious warning that nobody gets. Okay? This is a warning to the Torah movement not to feast outside of Jerusalem. Okay? It goes right over people's heads. As I was coming into knowing that, oh, hey, there's these feasts, and our pagan customs don't do anything like these feasts, and what are we doing? You know, you fall into finding the Torah movement, and you go, okay, these people got it figured out. They know we're supposed to obey God. Then you read Matthew, and I happened to just hear a teaching where a guy said, if you want to know Matthew, read it every day. The book of Matthew every day for a month. So I'm reading the book of Matthew, and one thing that's really hitting me is you must remove that log out of your eye so you can see clearly to remove the log out of your brother's eye. Okay, that was what I was supposed to see that month. That was the message I was supposed to hear. Remove that log out of your eye. Okay, so here I am doing these feasts outside of Jerusalem, trying to warn people about doing these pagan customs. And I'm like, holy smokes. Bad Surf, what's going on? Good morning. Yeah, good morning. So here I am with a log in my eye doing these feasts outside of Jerusalem. And I had just read this section, and we discussed it at our Torah group. We discussed this man of God that we're going to read about in chapter 13. And it was like, man, you better listen to God or you're in trouble, because this man of God doesn't listen to God and he gets in trouble. Okay, he goes there to deliver his message to, hey, you better listen to God or you're in trouble. And then he gets tricked. He gets tricked. Okay, so then it all didn't come close. But then I'm reading about a month later, I'm in 2 Kings 22, and Josiah, the young king, finds the book of the law, and he reads it, and he's like, oh my gosh, we're not doing anything right. And he repents. He turns towards God, and he sends out the mighty men, and he gets the priests together, clear all this pagan junk out of the temple. Get all this pagan junk out of the temple. They take it and they burn it. Okay, then he's cleaning the whole land. He's going throughout Israel, and he's burning the high places and burning the groves and killing the pagan priests, and he's cleansing the land before they can have a Passover. And he's there burning the bones. He's burning the bones of these pagan priests, and he gets to this sepulcher, and he's in Bethel, and he gets to this sepulcher, and he's like, this says the man of God. And one of the guys goes, the man of God prophesied about you, burning bones right here. This is the fulfillment of this prophecy that the man of God said. And I was like, oh, that's the man of God. Holy smokes. I was thinking that was Amos, that was Amos and Hosea, because they were the kind of the prophets during that time also. I was thinking, oh, that must be the burial place of Amos and Hosea. No, that was the man of God and the lying prophet. that we're going to read about today. But Josiah was burning the bones, and he says, don't touch that one. Keep that one. So he burns the bones. He opens sepulchres. He's burning the bones. All these wicked people, those wicked people. He was like avenging Israel because the Assyrians came out in Second Kings 17. We hear about the Assyrians coming through. And when the Assyrians came through and scattered the 10 northern tribes, okay, the Assyrians were nasty. Like ruthless nasty. Okay, it is very scary stuff. Isaiah 13. Isaiah 13 gives you a glimpse at how freaking scary these guys are. Okay? It's the judgment of God. God sends the Assyrians there to just teach them a lesson. And he scattered them unto the Gentiles, and they're scattered today. They never got back together yet. The two sticks have not been broken back yet. Okay, nobody's swords are not been beaten in clouds. You know, wolves aren't laying down with the lamb right now. I mean, so all that saying, okay, at the same time, I'm searching whether I should be doing these feasts, and I got to take a log out of my eye and all this stuff. I read that, and it goes back to here, and with clarity, I can say, oh man, that's what we're supposed to learn from 1 Kings 13. So, starting out, this is 1 Kings 12, and Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were to come to I'm going to have problems with this word. Shechem. To make him king. And it came to pass when Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who was yet in Israel, heard of it, for he had fled the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt. All right, Daniel. Cool. Sophia, good morning. Okay, and he dwelt in Egypt, and they sent and called him, and Jeroboam, and they all congregated of Israel and came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, okay, now remember, Rehoboam is taking over the southern kingdom. That's the house of Judah. And thy father made a yoke now grievous. Now thy father make thy grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke, which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. And he said unto them, depart yet for 3 days, then come again unto me. And the people departed. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father, while yet they lived. And he said, howbeit, do ye advise that I may answer these people? And they spake unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant unto his people this day, and wilt serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. But he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men which were grown up with him, and which stood before him. And he said unto them, what the counsel give that ye may answer this people who have spoken unto me, saying, make the yoke of thy father put on us lighter. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, thus shall speak to the people that speak unto the saying, thy father made our yoke heavy, but makest thou lighter unto us. And thus shall say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. My father did lay on you a heavy yoke, and I will add to your yoke. And my father chastise you with whips, and I will chastise you with scorpions. Yikes. Okay, so he's going to be harder on the people. He said, you want it easy? I'm going to give it to you heavy. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam in the 3rd day, and the king had appointed them, saying, come to me again the 3rd day. And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him. And he spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, my father made your yoke heavy, I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, I will chastise you with scorpions. Therefore the king hearkened not unto the people. He didn't listen to the people for the cause of Jehovah, that he might perform his saying, which Jehovah spake unto Ahijah the Shilonite, unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat. So when all of Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, What portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance, the son of Jesse, to your tents. O Israel, now see thou thy own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. So then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones, and he died. Therefore the king Rehoboam made speed to get to him, to his chariot, to flee to Jerusalem. So Israel rebelled against the house of David and unto this day. And it came to pass, when Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, they sent and called him to the congregation that made him king over all Israel. And there was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only. And when Rehoboam come to Jerusalem, he assembled the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon. But the word of God came unto Shemaiah, the man of God, saying, Speak unto Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, the king of Judah, and unto all the house of Judah, and to Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, of the saying, Thus saith Jehovah, ye shall not go up, nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearkened therefore to the word of Jehovah, and returned to depart according to all the word of Jehovah. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from then, built Peniel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. And he said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. If the people go up and do sacrifice in the house of the Lord of Jerusalem, then shall the hearts of his people turn unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah. And they shall kill me, and go against Rehoboam, the king of Judah. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold. Man, he's making golden calves. And that's wrong. Now we're going to hear about the sins of Jeroboam. The golden calf. A pagan idol they make to Jehovah. And he said unto them, It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And he set one in Bethel, and the other he put in Dan. You have to understand and go back, read Deuteronomy 12 and Deuteronomy 16, where they're talking about doing feasts. Okay, over and over again it says, Thou shalt not do them in thy gates, but you shall do them in the place I put my name. Then it says again, in the place, it even goes and says, yeah, you can have a meal at your house, but don't do these feasts outside the place where I put my name. And people don't associate, we don't associate in our culture a festival and a feast. The festival, and then that meal you have around the festival is a sacrifice to God. Okay, is in God's eyes. Okay, so if you're having a pagan festival, if you're learning the way of the heathen, it's Jeremiah 10 when he talks about the Christmas tree. He's talking about Asherah. Northern Europe, and Asherah looks like a Christmas tree. In Egypt, an Asherah looks like an obelisk, like the Washington Monument. Okay? Learn not the way of the heathen, folks. Learn not the way of the heathen. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month. He just did it on any old time. Any old time. He doesn't have the calendar. He's going to do it on the 8th month. On the 8th month, the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar. So he did in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he made. And he placed Bethel priests of high places which he had made. He just assigning his own priests. Yeah, the Levites ain't going to have none of this. Okay, the Levites are like, no. So he's going to have to make his own priests. So he offered upon the altar, which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel. And he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. He prayed. Okay. In the Torah movement, there's always discussions, which is the day of the feast? Well, God take away the calendar. Okay, God takes away the calendar. You can read about that in Jubilees chapter 6, I believe. Okay, he takes away the calendar. He sets back the sundial, takes away this calendar, so that he doesn't want people doing this feast in a profane land. Okay, Amos, the very end of Amos, I believe. Okay, you have to clean up the land. That's what Josiah was doing in 2 Kings 22 and 23. He's cleaning the land before he has a Passover. Okay, this is chapter 13. This is where the man of God is going to show up. And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah. The man of God. We hear that his name is Shemaiah. We hear from chapter 20 or verse 22, Shemaiah. But the man of God out of Judah by the word of Jehovah into Bethel, and Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. And he cried against the altar in the word of Jehovah and said, O altar, thus saith Jehovah, behold, a child shall be born into the house of David, Josiah by name. Upon thee shall he offer priests of high places that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee. So he's telling about what's going to happen with Josiah. Okay, and he gave a sign that same day, saying, this is the sign which Jehovah hath spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. And it came to pass, when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of God, which he cried against the altar in Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, lay a hold of him. And his hand which he put forth against him dried up, so that he could not pull it again to him. And the altar, so he reaches his hand out to grab this guy, and his hand dries up. He gets the his hand is sick. And the altar was rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar. And so this guy, the guy breaks the altar, and the ashes pour out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given by word of Jehovah. And the king answered and said unto the man of God, entreat now the face of Jehovah thy God, and pray for me that my hand be restored again. And the man of God besought Jehovah. The king's hand was restored again, and it came before as it was before. And the king said unto the man of God, come home with me and refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward. And the man of God said unto the king, if thou wilt give me half thine house, I will not go with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place. Neither will I eat bread or drink water in this place. For it was charged by me, saying to the word of Jehovah, saying, eat no bread, drink no water, nor return again by the same way thou hast camest. So he went another way, and returned not by the way he came to Bethel. Now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel, and his sons came to him and told him all the works that the man of God had done. So they told him about him breaking the altar. They told about, the king's hand getting, I can't think of what that is, the skin disease. And then that man of God's healing him. So they tell their father this. In Bethel, and the words he spoken unto the king of them, who also their father. And their father said unto them, and he went, and the way he went, for his sons had seen the way the man of God went, and which came from Judah. And he said unto his son, saddle me the ass. So they saddled him an ass, and he rode thereon. And he went after the man of God, and he found him sitting under an oak. And he said unto him, Art thou the man of God that camest from Judah? And he said, I am. And he said unto him, Come home with me and eat bread. And he said, I may not return with thee, nor go with thee. Neither will I eat bread or drink water in this place. For it was said to me by the word of Jehovah, Thou shalt eat no bread, nor drink no water there, nor turn again and go by the way thou camest. And he said unto him, I am a prophet also. Thou art. And an angel spake to me by thy word of Jehovah, saying, Bring him back with thee unto thy house, that he may eat and drink water. But he lied to him. Okay, so this is the lying prophet. Okay? He says it's okay to drink water. The angel told me it's okay to drink water. You know what we told it when I brought up? Look what it says in Deuteronomy 12 and Deuteronomy 16 about not doing the feast outside of where God puts his name. You know what they say? They say, he knows our heart. He knows our heart. And I say, we don't know how to do these sacrifices. We don't have that knowledge anymore. You know what they say to me? We just do the best we can. The angel told me it's okay. But he lied unto him. That's verse 18. Verse 18, 1 Kings 13. So he went back with him, and he did eat bread in his house, and he drank water. He did eat bread and drink water there. And it came to pass, as they sat at the table, the word of Jehovah came unto that prophet and brought him back. And he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, Thus saith Jehovah, for insomuch thou hast disobeyed the mouth of Jehovah, and thou hast not kept thy commandment, which the Lord thy God commanded thee, but came back and hast eaten bread and drunk the water in the place which Jehovah did say to thee, Eat no bread, drink no water, thy carcass shall not come unto thee, the sepulchres of thy father. And it came to pass, after he had eaten the bread, and after he drunk, and he saddled him an ass to wit, for the prophet whom had brought him back. When he was gone, a lion met him, by the way. A lion met him, by the way, and slew him, and his carcass was cast in the way. And as the ass stood by it, the lion also stood by the carcass. And behold, the men passed by, and saw the carcass sat in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass. And they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. And when the prophet that brought him back from the way heard thereof, he said, It is the man of God, who is disobedient unto the word of Jehovah. Therefore the Lord hath delivered him unto the lion, which hath torn him and slain him, according to the word of Jehovah, which he spake unto him. The Lion of Judah comes back and slays him for not listening to God. Okay? Do you read that? That is 26. 1 Kings 13, verse 26. What happens? He doesn't listen to God, and the Lion of Judah comes and slays him, and now is standing there by the ass and by the carcass. And he spoke, and he said to his son, saying, Saddle me an ass. And they saddled him. And he went and found the carcass cast in the way, and the ass and the lion standing by the carcass. And the lion had not eaten the carcass, nor torn the ass. And the prophet took up the carcass of the man of God, laid it upon the ass, brought it back, and the old prophet came to the city to mourn and bury him. And he laid his carcass in his own grave, and they mourned over him, saying, Alas, my brother. And it came to pass, after they buried him, they spake to his son, saying, When I am dead, bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of God is buried. Lay my bones beside his bones. For the same which he cried by Jehovah against the altar of Bethel, and against the houses of the high places which are in the cities of Samaria, shall surely come to pass. And after this thing Jeroboam returned not from his evil ways. In this thing Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again the lowest of the people priests. He made the lowest of the people priests. no, yeah, we're not worried about really about the what's going on in this world here. Yeah, there'll be no. The Messiah says this generation will not see a sign. Then he warns you about lying signs and wonders. So who are these people being healed by? Luke 10. He casts out demons with the finger of God. That's the Ten Commandments. That's the Ten Commandments all Christians say they don't have to keep anymore. There you go. And because of that, people see through their hypocrisy. And they turn away from God because they see these Christians not doing anything the book says. This generation will not see any sign. The only sign this generation will see, they'll see the sign of Jonah. 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a whale. The sign of Jonah. Somehow the Christians can't count to 3. They think 3 days and 3 nights is Friday, Good Friday to Sunday. No. They do not believe in the resurrection as per Scripture. He was already gone on Saturday. He was gone when they showed up. Sunday morning, when the day starts, he was already gone. Daniel 9 tells him that he will die in the midst of the week. Then he arises on the Sabbath day, being the Lord of the Sabbath. Yet they don't see it. And then they're told they need to believe as per Scripture. But none of them really read it. So we end up where you're at. In unbelief. Because they're a horrible witness. And the cities of Samaria surely come to pass. After this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again the lowest of the people priests high places. Whoever would be, he consecrated him, and he became one of the priests of the high places. Oh my goodness. And this thing became a sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the face of the earth. Okay, that happens in 2 Kings 17. Yeah, that is wild, guys. So, you have to remove the log from your eye so that you can love your brother as thyself and rebuke their sin. Okay, the whole entire church revolves their yearly sacrifice according to the pagan customs. Yule logs, Saturnalia. Okay? Go look at a Christmas festival in Austria. Okay? It's wicked. Wicked. Okay? There's little goblins running around. They're running around right with Old Nick, Old Saint Nick, Old Nick. Go look up Old Nick in Oxford Dictionary. What's the birthday of every pagan sun deity? Every one of them's birthday is the winter solstice. They call it December 25th. Learn not the way of the heathen, folks. You got to pull that log out of your eye so you can rebuke the sin out of your brother's eye. Okay, and here we are doing the same thing Jeroboam did. And the Torah movements having their feasts outside of Jerusalem, all around, pagan high places everywhere. It's a time of mourning, lamentation, and woe. When you're kicked out of the land, you're in a time of mourning, lamentation, and woe. Daniel 10, like verse 4, he fasted. He didn't feast outside the land. He fasted. And he was a governor. He could have had a feast. The Torah movement says that they listen to the Torah, but they just chop out Deuteronomy. They chop out Numbers 9, verse 2. They don't know how to do that feast. They don't have that knowledge. You're going to need the Spirit of truth. God will imbue people with the Spirit to know and understand how to do this stuff. In error, people screw it up over and over and over again. It brings on tribulation.